Hey guys, welcome back for another incoming weekly. We got some news for you today. What I'm most excited about is this Masters of the Universe Revelations or Revelation. It's the showrunner is going to be Kevin Smith. It's actually a continuation of the original He-Man and Masters of the Universe animated series, although it's going to be more mature. It sounds like it's made for fans of the original who are now 30s, 40s, maybe older. I think mostly in their 40s because it was an 80s series. But Nick, what did you think of this trailer? Seeing it for the first time today.
Looks good. I barely have any memory of He-Man from the past. I think I might have seen what you were talking about at Cartoon Network run. Was that different from the original?
Yes.
Okay, so I might not have seen the best version of it. Would you say I saw the best or worst?
That's hard to judge because I am nostalgic for the original series, but I don't think it would be up your alley. It was aimed at a young audience. It was during that time when they were very particular about what they could and couldn't put in a children's animated series.
Bless you.
There was a very clear moral at the end of every episode. Like the characters would speak out loud the moral of this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so if I did, sounds like I did get the better iteration in my time.
I wouldn't say better.
It sounds better to me. This new series or the continuation of the original looks even better than the one that I saw. So,
and it looks truer. I'll have to show you what the original series looked like. But the original series did look very campy, very cheesy. This looks like that, but if they had taken it seriously. It looks awesome. It just I believe it's the animation studio that did Castlevania working on this.
Okay. I love their work.
But yeah, the series is beautiful. You can definitely see that the character designs in particular are very reminiscent of the original series. Chris Wood sounds great as He-Man. Mark Hamill sounds amazing as Skeletor. Definitely, I think that's the best iteration of the Skeletor voice. We get like I don't know if it's actual name of the song, but "We Need a Hero" playing in the background, which was really cool. Again, I think that was more to lend to that 80s nostalgia. But He-Man just looks badass in this. You see Beastman come down with the big boulder, and He-Man just grabs it and has like this grin on his face before he throws it back at him. We get a lot of action shots and I know there's a lot of things going around about people being pissy that they think Teela may be too big of the story or whatever. Guys, just watch this. Give the first couple episodes a shot. See where Kevin Smith's going with it. He has a story to tell. Let's just be optimistic and see where that story goes. Don't make big assumptions off little leaks you hear or anything like that. And if she does become the main character, but it makes sense to the story and it's a good story, who cares? But whatever. Anyway, we get lots of action shots of Teela fighting, which look really cool. And we get shots of Man-at-Arms, who, again, looks almost exactly like his 80s series counterpart. Or I shouldn't say counterpart. They're supposed to be the same character. But that final shot, man, of Skeletor summoning the giant fist. This giant fist that looks like it's like made out of shadow or dark energy or something comes through. And He-Man just takes it on. It looks so cool. I believe it said July 23rd. That it's dropping, right? July 23rd on Netflix.
Don't remember.
I think that was the date.
I say my favorite part of the trailer was when He-Man gets a ray blast shot at him and he just dodges it or just turns to the side and it just goes right past him. I was like, that's bad. Like, that's some Ultra Instinct shit.
Or how about the timing of like when they start playing the "We Need a Hero," and as they say "We Need a Hero," the H comes across his chest. That was really cool. Yeah, looks great. Can't wait. Part 1 will be dropping, and then I guess in a few months they're doing like the Netflix thing with they do with the animated series where they drop 1, and a few months later they drop part 2. So we'll see where it goes.
So, Chris, you mentioned Castlevania a little bit ago. We got some news about that. Want to take it away?
Well, you go into this one because I've still only seen like the first season of the Castlevania series.
He's got some catching up to do. Castlevania is getting a spin-off about Trevor and... I always struggle with her name. Anyways, the speaker girl that he's with. They have a son named Richter, and the spin-off series follows him.
Do you know anything else about it?
Takes place during the French something...
Revolution?
I think.
Okay. Well, I guess there hasn't been a whole lot on it yet, right? This is just the initial announcement.
Yeah, this is just an initial announcement.
Yeah. Well, I need to catch up on the original Castlevania series. But Nick, you had a few other a few video games that you showed me. Some trailers dropped at E3 this week.
E3 started yesterday, I want to say it was. And then it's going until the 15th or 16th. Double check me on my dates. So what we got so far, 2 great, they look like masterpieces. We finally have a true to James Cameron Avatar universe video game called Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. And this game looks absolutely beautiful. The trailer, you just jump right in, and it looks like Avatar the movie.
Yeah, and there's some gameplay footage in the trailer as well, where you're actually seeing through the eyes of the character. It's definitely a first-person type of game. This kind of made me feel like it's like Oblivion or Fallout, but in the Avatar universe.
I didn't feel like that.
Well, he was like reaching out for the plant, like he's trying to collect something. There's mounts. It's that more modern RPG style game, it seems.
Okay. I'd say it feels more like I want to say it was like a very interactive Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I can see that a little bit.
Because if it's like an open environment, I would compare that to Breath of the Wild. And the interaction thing, I want to compare it to something else, but I can't think of something right now that it's close to. I'd say it's more like looking at the person reaching their hand out towards the plant and then it retracting looked almost like a VR experience, like how you can interact in a VR experience.
Well, we don't know yet that it's not a VR experience.
We do know the...
or at least that there's not a VR version.
Right. We do know there's new VR hardware coming out.
Yeah.
On multiple fronts.
Maybe this is a VR game. But I was also just thinking, like, that just to me looks and screams Fallout or Elder Scrolls. But super cool looking. The graphics are incredible. Yeah, there's scenes of them flying on the Banshees. It just looks insane. I really hope it is open world and not one of those games that baits you by looking open world and then being level based. That would really disappoint me.
Yeah. Well, it could be like large areas because it's called Frontiers of Pandora, and I can't see them recreating an entire planet.
Why not? Many of other games have done it at this point.
But those were all procedural generation. I don't see them procedurally generating Pandora.
No, I guess we'll see. Or maybe there's is very large areas, but there's like a fast travel to get to other areas. Maybe it's more Monster Hunter style.
Could be, yeah.
But anyway, it looks like it's going to be awesome regardless. The mechanics look really cool. I can just imagine what it'll feel like playing that, like riding on the Banshees.
It's gonna be sick.
But Nick, there was another one here that looked pretty exciting.
We finally got gameplay trailer for Elden Ring. And this is written by George R. R. Martin and Hidetaka Miyazaki. And it's from Software. And you can, looking at the monsters in this game, you instantly see George R. R. Martin's work. His mind, you just feel it all over this game. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely got... Well, obviously they could only go so far with Game of Thrones on HBO with the fantasy element, and they went further as the series continued. But it is very expensive to do that kind of stuff. But what we did see of the visuals with some of the giants that we saw in that, the White Walkers, the children of the forest, was that what they're called? Those styles of creatures, this definitely looked in that realm. There's definitely a visual style here that was definitely inspired by George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, definitely. But also, it's cool that it looks like it didn't show like NPCs in the friendly NPCs in this trailer. At least I didn't catch any.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw a bunch of big monsters. We saw the main character or the protagonist gets to ride on this goat-looking horse.
I don't think I need... I remember the scene when the horse is like jumping up the mountain.
Yeah, completely just like takes off up the cliff.
Yeah. This looks really cool. This one definitely looks almost like a Elder Scrolls style game.
Yeah.
But even more visually stunning. Dude, that shot of that werewolf was awesome. And he's got like armor and shit on him, I believe. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
What about the giant? There was a giant where it showed his eyeball at first, just like right up next to the screen. That thing was awesome. Yeah,
so some cool things coming out of E3. Nick, when's that go till?
15th or 16th.
Okay. So keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we'll drop some other news in next week's Incoming Weekly.
Keep your eyes peeled for a Switch Pro.
Are they announcing that?
Could be.
Okay, then. So a little bit of Toxic Avenger news. As we found out a while ago, I think we talked about it in one of our shows, Peter Dinklage is going to be the Toxic Avenger in the upcoming movie. Sounds like it's a reboot. It's not going to be a continuation of the original series. Which I think even each consecutive sequel in that was a little loosely tied to the one before it, but not completely. But I wish Jake was here to talk about it because he knows a lot more about that universe. But we did get an announcement that Kevin Bacon will be the villain in this. I believe we saw that on Screen Rant, which is very reliable, so probably very true. And there wasn't much else in that article other than that, was there, Nick?
No, I didn't see anything about who he was playing.
Just a basic villain, just announcing that he was playing the villain. Mm-hmm. So sounds cool to us. I think it's going to be an interesting take. Really curious to see what they do with Peter Dinklage. If he's actually... I'm wondering if this version of the Toxic Avenger is still going to be practical effects and he'll actually play some incarnation of the Toxic Avenger, or if this is going to be like a mocap thing. Maybe they'll do Toxic Avenger like a deformed Hulk. I don't know, but we'll see what comes out. But one other quick little thing here. Again, don't have too much on it, and I love a lot of the iterations of Spawn. I loved the HBO series when it was on, although I saw it a very, very long time ago. Don't remember much other than that I really liked it. Of course, I got a soft spot for the movie. I've read some of the early comics. I love the toy lines, the McFarlane toy lines. But we do have an interesting announcement that they're doing. Apparently, there's two characters who I can't recall off the top of my head, Sam and Twitch, that are getting a TV spinoff, which is interesting because Spawn has been in like development hell for years. That McFarlane's been trying to do a series. Or at one point, Jamie Foxx was attached to play Spawn. Don't know where that is. Don't know what's going to happen there. I think Blumhouse was attached also. But it's been in development hell for years. And all of a sudden we get this announcement that we're getting a television series spinoff about two characters in that universe. So
two side characters can make it through to Greenlight, but the main freaking awesome superhero can't.
Yeah. Yep, I don't know. Again, this is one I wish Jake was here to talk about, and maybe we'll get. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more news coming out about this in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to have Jake here to run through some of that and give us more background on what these characters mean to the comics. Nick was reading earlier about Spawn is the longest running character owned comic book, spanning over 300 issues. So that's pretty cool. Just wish he could get that movie off the ground, but. Who knows what the series will bring? Maybe there'll be some, because they were talking about when they were doing the movie that Spawn. I remember McFarlane talking about that they were going to treat Spawn kind of like Bruce in Jaws, where it's like you barely see him, but when you see him, it matters. So a series like this kind of feels like it could be something like that, where it doesn't center around Spawn, but we're going to feel Spawn in this world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, something to keep an eye out for. I think that's all we have this week. Kind of a short one. But stay tuned. We're always got our eyes on the news. And we will have new topics for you next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on Facebook and on YouTube. And until next time.